I've been crying for days. Well, she has obviously remained completely unfazed, or she would have called me back. She would have called me back. I called right after I found out my aunt had done what I didn't want her to do. Shaniqua had called her back. She should have just said, oh, it was the wrong number, but she told her. Anyway, I called her after that. I wasn't blocked anymore. If I had been blocked to begin with. She never called me the entire day. So that night, I left a message. Please call me sometime tomorrow. Please call me. If I don't hear from you, I will assume you are mad at me. That was yesterday. Didn't hear from her at all. Like I said, she doesn't need me. Friendship hadn't lasted very long anyway. She has good friends. She has her family that she's super close to, and her kids and whatever. She doesn't need me. Sure, she liked me. She cared about me. That's undeniable. I know she cared about me, and I know she enjoyed my company, but need and want, no. Otherwise, she couldn't just do this and not care, and that's it. It's either that or something's wrong. And I don't want to think that something's wrong. I'd rather think that she doesn't just stop liking me or is mad at me or says it's not worth it, whatever, any of the above, then that something's wrong. The new message wasn't that I was blocked, it was the mailbox is full. So if I don't hear from her today, which I'm sure I won't, I'll try again tonight, and if it still says the mailbox is full, then I'll know she's doing that intentionally, rather than block me. File it away. She told me I was strong. Told me I didn't know how much strength I had. She said that after everything I gave her, poetry and my essay and letter to his cancer and email that I'd sent to my so-called brother. I sent a copy to Daddy as well. And just a letter to her in general. That place, and about that guy who, falsely believed that his willingness to listen to me gripe and bitch about my problems constituted a real friendship. Sees me walking down the street, hunched over. In the past, he'd made a point of saying, you look like an old lady hunched over. Then I'm on my way, sees me hunched over and doesn't even offer me a ride, because he's on his way to the city where he can pretend he's not in the shelter. City where he's from, and also he can always rely on, there's no room in my car, it's bullshit. That's why I later called him on it, but not to the point that Shaniqua would. Called him on it. I said, I hope if I was like dying or something, you would give me a ride. I called him on it, he doesn't care. He's not a real friend. What nothing to do with him either. Never going back to that shelter again. Never going back to that city again. And I'll file away my brief friendships under shelter experience. I never even heard from that woman in the beginning that I was friends with, who I thought I was so close to. I could share and be vulnerable, and the person who I really like will like me just as much, but these people are normal and I'm not. This black woman is even more normal, actually, than the woman in the beginning, when I first arrived at the shelter. But she still, is focusing on her own life and gets out of the shelter and doesn't want to look back and wants to look ahead and get a job or whatever. So even though she's all messed up, she still is getting a job, whereas I'm so messed up that I got on psych disability to the tune of $70,000 back pay and $991 a month. Sorry, $16,667 back pay, $991 a month. They can only go back legally 1 year from when I filed, even though they determined, as they told me, that I became disabled on March 2009. How they determined that, who knows? It doesn't really matter, because they can only go back 1 year, and they went back as far as they could possibly legally go back. Otherwise, I would get a check for $30,000. I'm sure Shaniqua just decided it's not her real name, of course. That I'm too much trouble, that I'm too intense, that I'm too needy, insecure, whatever, and she doesn't want to deal with it. She has her own problems to deal with. I don't blame her. I said I've been crying for 2 days, but I am going to block the number, because otherwise I'll just keep hoping every day that she's going to call and say it was all a misunderstanding. I don't want to live like that, so I'm gonna block it. I'll give it 1 more day, and then I'm gonna fucking block the number and chalk it up to, oh well. Like I told her in the message, I'll just chalk it up to another pain to file away in my lifetime of pain.